Hi guys, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the statement that a defense witness is expected to answer questions from. Okay. Please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you'll be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Now, let's get into this. Can the state attribute a statement to a defense witness before proving it exists or who wrote it? Legally, the answer is no, they cannot. Before the state can confront a defense witness with any alleged statement, they must first establish three critical foundations. One, the existence. The prosecution must prove the statement actually exists, not merely claim it or refer to it. A court cannot act on rumor of a document. They must produce it. They must produce it, and they must or lay the groundwork for why it's admissible. Number two, authenticity. They must show that the document is what they say it is. That includes where it came from, who recorded it, chain of custody, absence of fabrication or alteration. Until this is proven, the court cannot treat it as reliable evidence. Thirdly, authorship. A statement cannot be attributed to a witness until there is proof that the witness saw the witness saw on it, right? Sorry. A statement cannot be attributed to a witness until there is proof that the witness wrote it, signed it, adopted it, or confirmed it. If the witness disputes it, as seen repeatedly in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, the state must prove authorship before using it to impeach credibility. Why the law requires this? Without these foundations, the state would be allowed to ambush a witness with documents they cannot verify, a serious violation of fairness and due process. South African evidence law is very strict about proper confrontation, putting the contents to the witness, and ensuring procedural fairness under Section 35. So, in short, the state cannot treat an unproven document as if the witness made it. They cannot use it to attack credibility before proving it exists and authentic. They cannot attribute it to a witness before providing authorship. They must first lay the foundation. Only then can they use the statement in cross-examination or impeachment. Okay, we are learning. So what happened in the Senzo Meyiwa case, the courtroom shook over a legal dispute and the situation was slammed the state for attempting, the defense was slamming the state over attempting to attribute mysterious statement to a defense witness before proving it even exists. So I already touched on that the document cannot be used to attack a witness unless the state can prove its existence, authenticity, and the witness actually wrote or adopted it. So here, Ubaloyi could not do that. I don't know why. Did the state jump the gun in due process being violated? That because that's exactly what was happening. It was big. They did jump a gun. They were violating due process, and so that is what Mnisi was fighting for. If you want to understand what was happening, that's exactly what Mnisi was fighting for. You already know that the Senzo Meyiwa case is the high stakes arena courtroom kind of vibes. That murder trial of Senzo Meyiwa is that kind. The rules of evidence are not optional. They are the backbone of justice. But okay, today, the backbone was tested. In fact, that was Thursday. It was tested by Ubaloyi, but we will see what's going to happen. Because we know that the state attempted something bold, something dangerous, something the law simply does not allow. They tried to attribute the statement to Gwabini, who is a witness for the defense, before proving the statement exists, before showing its authenticity, and before linking it to Gwabini, whom they claim wrote it. And the Evidence Act demands three foundations. I already mentioned all those three foundations: existence, authenticity, authorship. And without them, a document is nothing more than a rumor, a shadow, a weapon with no edge. That is what the statement is currently. And the courtroom, watched as legal principles collide with the courtroom back strategy. Defense counsel pushed back, the judge looked on unimpressed, and the witness caught in the crossfire of a statement they may never have written. So that is why we are on a adjournment until tomorrow. This is getting more legal technically. The fighting for fairness, or for credibility, or for the very soul of the trial itself. And in the moment, one question echoes through the entire South Africa is that, can the state truly confront a witness with a document it cannot prove? And the law says no, the Constitution says no, and the defense, they are ready to fight this all the way up. This is an unfolding war over evidence. This is the statement trap that is happening. So that is where we are with the Senzo Meyiwa case. That is why you see they are not there today, because the drama is unfolding. So now the question is, evidence rules violated? That's a question mark. That is the question mark. And currently, it's state versus defense. Legal war erupts in that courtroom of Judge Ratta. And the question is Judge Ratta going to do the right thing? Is Judge Ratta going to do the right thing? And what's going to happen once all of that is sorted? Is he going to agree with the defense, or he is going to stand with the state? We don't know. Only time will tell when it comes to this. And already we know that Judge Ratta is standing with the state by his behavior. He is always agreeing with the state, and there is absolutely nothing that we can do about it as people that are watching, but we do see him. We do see his actions. We do see his behavior. We do see how he is. The list is endless. But bottom line is that it is what it is, guys, and it's not looking good. So time will tell. Tomorrow when they come, they are going to do arguments, because Baloyi was given the opportunity to do the arguments. That's the matter. That's the whole point. He was given the opportunity to do so, and we'll see who's going to shake what. But one thing that I've learned through the entire Senzo Meyiwa trial is that Baloyi is unable to fight via arguments. That's not his strong points. And now I've come to realize ukuthi even a cross-examination iyamhlula. Even cross-examination iyamhlula. He's not the sharpest when it comes to that. Yeah, ne? Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk in the comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.